All right, good evening, Rule Breakers. Welcome to another edition of React After Raw. We are here with you live on YouTube, as always, following another pretty good episode of Monday Night Raw. We're going to jump right into it here. We're going to be with you for about the next hour, talking about the big things from Raw, skipping little things, and happy that the guest host didn't do a whole hell of a lot. So let me introduce to you the panel today. Randy Hill. That's it. Randy, how are you tonight, my friend?
I am in quote of CM Punk. I'm fucking awesome. How are you?
I am doing good. Definitely enjoyed Raw tonight. Matt can't be with us tonight. Even though The Rock returned, Matt still has not returned to the debate desk here at React After Raw, and Aussie can't be with us tonight as well. So, we hope to see those guys sometime soon. But we're gonna jump right into it here. We're not gonna waste any more time. Enough of those guys. They got their own shows that you guys can watch later in the week. Right now, it's all about React. So. Raw opens up and they give us the recap like they did last week. They give us a recap of really the big storyline, which is John Cena and Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose starts off the show, cuts the promo, then goes on to talk about, well, I'm going to, get that contract and beat John Cena senseless with it, and then I'm going to hop in the Hell in the Cell and beat Seth Rollins around like he's a basketball. And then Cena comes out and cuts a very passionate promo about how, Dean shouldn't get ahead of himself. He should stop talking, really become grounded, and get prepared for one of the biggest matches of his career against John Cena for that contract. And unfortunately, the results were disappointing, and we will get to that later on. And I like Dean Ambrose's comeback to that, saying, thanks for the advice, big brother, but I don't need it. I've been waiting to whoop your ass for years. So definitely like this side of Ambrose, and Ambrose has really taken, not no pun intended, but he's really taken the reins from Reigns and being that number two babyface in the company and really getting that big push. And WWE obviously sees something in him, so this could be the start of his big push. And I really hope they do follow through. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when guys like Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Ryback, Bad News Barrett, those guys return, see where they fall, see who turns face. There's a rumor of Randy Orton turning face, so it's going to be interesting to see where Dean Ambrose fits on that scale. So, Randy, I want to jump to you and get your thoughts on that opening promo segment.
Well, it's like you said. It was they started out with the flashback, of course, from last week, and then, or I think it was a week before last, whichever one. But the Dean Ambrose being the second babyface, I can definitely agree with you on that because of course, Roman Reigns being out of commission for a while, and I mean, Dean Ambrose is starting to show that he is, there to stay, and he is trying to be a top dog. And like you said, we'll get to the contract on a pole match later on. But I mean, I really, really, really enjoy the hell out of seeing Dean Ambrose come out every week. I love his logo. Actually, it's it's fucking awesome in my opinion. But I mean, other than that, it was a kind of a meh opening segment. I mean, of course, Cena's gonna come out and he's gonna be like blah 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 me me me, and I mean, other than that, I mean, I didn't really find it too interesting. Uh, yeah, I mean, I really don't have much less to say about it because
I mean, not to interrupt you, but my biggest thing on it was Cena's promo wasn't like his usual promo. It wasn't like the one he cut later in the night. It wasn't that comedic, funny man, company guy John Cena. It was a more passionate, more involved in the storyline promo. So I will give him props for that, and I have said it in the past here on this show. When Cena wants to, he can cut a good and meaningful promo.
exactly, exactly. No, I completely agree with you on that. But I mean, his comedic side it goes about as stale as his serious side does sometimes, and I mean, because Cena, I want to say maybe 45% of the time can cut a damn good promo, but I mean, he's still got that lack of being interesting to me.
All right, I don't disagree with you there at all. It's tough because Cena, he comes out and sometimes he does good and he draws you in and you're like, wow, that was impressive. And then other times you're just like, go away, Cena, go away, Cena. Uh, and
Exactly.
then
Exactly.
and then the authority comes out and they say, you're not gonna settle this tonight, blah blah blah. So they throw them in the tag match with the Usos and Golden Stardust. Very interesting match, very very good match, I will say. It did start off slow. There were a lot of rest holds, but the crowd was really into it. Definitely hot for Stardust, being from Georgia, not from the Atlanta area. As Cody Rhodes has pointed out before in interviews that they're not really a big wrestling crowd all the time. So, a couple of rope breakers on the Facebook page going back and forth about that. But it was a really good match overall. It was good to see that really pick up towards the end where you had the Usos dive out of the ring, then you had Cena dive out of the ring, and then you had Dean Ambrose with the elbow drop. I thought, that was a good way to really end it. Definitely picked up the momentum from how slow it was in the beginning, and then afterwards, Triple H and Stephanie weren't satisfied, so they decide, hey, we're gonna have the contract match here tonight on Raw to make sure these guys tear each other apart. And again, we're gonna get to that later because uh, disappointing. But you know, what did you think about that tag match? Do you think it was good? Was it bad? Was it entertaining? I mean, what did you think?
Well, I mean, the first half of it was very bland, and I mean, I was starting to think, I was like, why are they throwing the Usos in there? And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, they're in there because they are still in the rivalry with Golden Stardust, and I was like, okay, I understand that. And then I get the fact that they're trying to pull the whole can Cena and Ambrose work together angle, and I mean, obviously they fucking can, regardless of how well their roles are scripted or how well their gimmick is or whatever. The it was, like I said, it was kind of bland to start out with, but they really really did a good job with the ending of it because the crowd was into it. I actually, I was playing on my laptop as usual, and I looked up and I was like, for at least a good 5 minutes, I was just like, just kind of glued to it, because it was really entertaining. It was. I enjoyed it. I if it would have been the only match in the whole show, I would have gave that one a fucking B plus. Solid match.
Definitely a very solid match. Definitely glad to see that WWE is kind of really giving us good matches. Starting to pick that up weekly now. I mean, last week was kind of touch and go there, but really starting to revolve the shows more around wrestling and less about the other bullshit. I mean, and Dean Ambrose recently did an interview over the weekend, and he was asked about in his view on it and his take. And one of the things he said was, where's the wrestling? That's what I watch it for. That's what I fell in love with the business for. Is where, but a lot of the product now is where's the wrestling? Where's the wrestling? And I have to agree with that
Yeah.
because you watch WWE now and they try to split the line between wrestling and entertainment, and the entertainment value doesn't always go over so well as much as the wrestling does. So tonight they did a good job at really delivering on the wrestling aspect, and you know the guest star host stuff really took a backseat, and we will get to that soon. So after you had that tag match, you have another tag match with the Divas, AJ and Layla versus Paige and Alicia Fox. Not a match I really paid attention to. I do like the feud. I do like the way it's going between Paige and AJ, but wasn't really a match I was going to pay attention to. It didn't really draw me in. Like I'm glad that they continued on the trend of having matches, but it didn't draw me in. Layla though, she drew me in. That's why I kept watching, but even though my girl Paige was in there, but still, I didn't really pay a whole hell of a lot of attention. Not really towards the end where uh, AJ laid the smackdown on Layla's candy ass, and
Right.
it's going to be interesting to see where this feud ends up between Paige and AJ. Do they drop the whole frenemies, best friends angle, or they keep this going into Hell in a Cell, Survivor Series? Because the thing is, there's not a lot of contenders for that Divas title because Vince has a rule that if you're on Total Divas, you can't hold the title. And we discussed this not too long ago. I believe here on React that you don't have a lot of contenders left for that title. So does Vince decide to change that rule to add people to that? I mean, the issue is the continuity because you could have someone as champion, on the show, and then 6 months later when the next season airs, they're not champion anymore. So I understand the rule, but I think it needs to be bent a little because the Divas division is thin already, and when you have most of your divas on a TV show, and then you say, well, you can't hold the title because you're on this show, it really, really weakens the division. So I hope, for the sake of that division, they either take some girls off or at least say, you know what, these girls can hold the title. I really just hope it happens because, we can't keep getting, even though it's entertaining, we can't keep getting Paige and AJ every single pay-per-view playing hot potato with the championship. So hopefully Vince changes his mind and we see some new girls, whether they're from NXT or on the current roster, take that title. I mean, Randy, got anything to add to that?
Well, I mean, it's like you said, they can't really give the title to the girls that are on the TV show. And in my opinion on that is, I really wish that they would just take the Total Divas and give them their own show instead of keeping them there on Raw because it really, really, I think it really hurts the Divas division because they just need the girls who are gonna wrestle, and then they need the girls who are gonna be on the fucking TV show to just go be on the TV show, do whatever the fuck they're gonna do, you know. And I mean, I think it really does hurt them because, like you said, if they're gonna keep them on Raw or SmackDown, they need to go ahead and let them have the title. But I mean, I don't agree with the fact that they use the Total Divas for wrestling anymore because if they're gonna keep them on the show, then they just need to keep them on the show and keep them off the television. They could give that spot to Zack Ryder or somebody who doesn't really get a whole lot of TV time anymore. You know what I'm saying though? I mean, I understand that made you laugh because of course Zack Ryder, where the fuck has he been? The past couple of months. And I mean, that's all I really have to say about it. The whole hot potato thing with Paige and AJ is, I think they're trying to build that to something that they don't quite see happening yet. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. They're trying to build towards a bigger feud or a bigger issue here, but I mean, I do. I mean, it'd be difficult to kind of just take the girls who are on Total Divas off the show, but at the same time, they really need to either call up some divas from NXT or uh, take some divas off Total Divas because they do need a stronger divas division in there.
No, I
And
mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you here, man, but it's like Natalia. She is from the Hart dungeon, right? The Hart family dungeon, right?
yes,
I mean, she's not exactly the most attractive diva, and I think that that's honestly where they're trying to go with the whole divas division is who's the hottest diva on our show, Not who are we just giving the title to. I think it's a popularity contest on looks. And I mean, Natalia truly deserves better in ring time because she is, in fact, from the Heart Dungeon, and she can wrestle better than half the fucking divas on the show. And I don't understand why they haven't let her have a decent title reign yet. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah. At the end of it, it's all really just backstage politics. And some rope breakers weighing in over here on YouTube. Kyle Colan saying, how do you feel about Dean Ambrose using the double arm DDT instead of Dirty Deeds as a finisher? I like it. It looks a lot better. It looks believable as a finisher. Uh, Dirty Deeds didn't really look that great as a finisher, so I'm glad he's switching it up with the double arm DDT. J-Dub saying they need to take Total Divas, the TV show, out of Raw. They don't have to play catch up with the show. I completely agree with that aspect. aspect. They don't really need to play catch up. It should just be its own separate entity. And then J Dub commenting on what you said about Zack Ryder, I believe, saying he won on Superstars. Well, congrats to Zack Ryder winning a match.
I don't really watch Superstars, so good for him.
All right, so after that Divas tag match, there's the backstage segment with the Authority and Randy Orton. Randy Orton saying, doesn't, people can beat, John Cena and Dean Ambrose can beat Seth Rollins any day of the week, but, they can't beat me. Nobody can beat me. I'm still at the top. Lots of rumors regarding Randy Orton recently. One rumor is saying that, Randy Orton's got a new contract with WWE, and he'll be working less dates, not really working weekend house shows, not working a lot of live events, just kind of working TV and pay-per-views, and then Randy firing back, don't believe everything you read on the internet, LOL dirt sheets. And then, there was another rumor that came out about Randy saying, he's only scheduled for the first part of WWE's European tour next month, and then after that, he's not scheduled to the December 21st taping of SmackDown. So they're giving him a little vacation, so I don't know if they're trying to, they're obviously going to write him off TV in some way, if that is the case, of him not being around, from mid-November until pretty much the end of December. So it'll be interesting to see how they write him off and how he comes back. Randy then goes on to say, I want the loser, Cena and Dean Ambrose, in the main event at Hell in a Cell. I don't think that should be the main event. I said this on last week's React After Raw, and I believe I said it the week before. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins needs to be the main event. I said this in articles on RopeBreakWrestling.com. WWE needs to start trusting the future of their company and let them sell the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good that, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are finally together in that match and really can put on one hell of a show, but they need to close Hell in a Cell. I don't care if we have John Cena versus Randy Orton 5 million times. They put on a good match. They put on an entertaining match. But I will continue to say until Hell in a Cell, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins need to close that show. WWE needs to trust their younger talent, their up-and-coming talent, the next generation, to lead them, and that's where it starts. So Randy Orton and John Cena can be on before, and then Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose can bring it home and really put on a stellar match. That's enough of me ranting about that. Jesus. After that, you had they replayed the Harper vignette, and we're not going to talk about that just yet because there was a new one later in the show, but we'll get to that. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the Dolph Ziggler versus Randy Orton match. That match was absolutely incredible.
No, I totally agree with you on that. My boy Ziggler, of course, I gotta stick with my guns on that. Ziggler is my boy. I love it whenever he comes out and wrestles because he can sell the living shit out of anything.
Absolutely.
Anything. And I mean, that RKO, oh my god, that was gorgeous. That was one of the best RKOs I think I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I absolutely agree. It was a phenomenal match from both guys, and time and time again, people say Randy Orton's underrated, he's underused, they don't take advantage of him. And this match goes to show how great of a talent Randy Orton is, and why he is one of the best of all time. I mean, Randy went out there and killed it. I mean, for me, that was match of the night. That stole the show.
No, completely agree.
It was. I mean, it was every single minute of it. It kept me engaged. I was watching like, what's going to happen next? I mean, sometimes you watch matches on Raw and you know what's going to happen. It's predictable. It's the same old shit every single week. But this match was something else, and I'm glad they did it. And it was a phenomenal match. You have Seth Rollins come out taunting Randy Orton, and at the very end of the match, you have Seth Rollins hit the curb stomp on Dolph Ziggler, and then you have that stare down, and really starting to build that rivalry between Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, and I am super excited for that because
So I'm
that
sorry. Go ahead.
that has so, like I said on our Facebook page, that has so much potential because you have two guys who are, basically in their prime, have put on some stellar matches in their careers, and the amount of talent in that rivalry will be huge. And when it comes down to it, Randy Orton will put Rollins over. It's just going to be massive. I'm super excited for that rivalry when it does happen. So, bring it on.
You know, yeah. As a matter of fact, yes. They as soon as this match at Hell in a Cell with Ambrose and Rollins is over with, that I think they are finally gonna go ahead and let the fire die down on that feud, and go ahead and give it over to Randy Orton. And then I also do believe that they're gonna start an Ambrose Cena feud. I think that's gonna happen. And I mean, of course, Cena being the guy, he's been the face of the company for a little over 10 years now. And I mean, whenever I say the face, he is the true legit baby face. He is Vinnie Mac's pick in my opinion, because whenever he
Right.
picked him at the start of it, Cena came out, he did his little chain gang shit, and I mean, I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention to wrestling at that time because I didn't exactly have cable back then, so I missed out on a lot of that, a lot of that stuff, and uh, I mean, he after he started the whole hustle, loyalty, and respect, that is what drew him in to be Vinnie Mac's. That's his baby right there. That is his prized
Right.
possession. If anything gets in the way of that, he's gonna start firing people. But I mean, I see Ambrose and Cena going into a feud. The reason why I say that is because of how they reacted tonight, and then of course the whole thing with Seth Rollins and Randy Orton starting out. Like you said, it's going to be a beautiful feud because of course Randy Orton does know how to put the younger talent over, and I mean I see Orton winning maybe the first time, and it really pissing Seth Rollins off, and then Seth Rollins gets the upper hand on it. And I mean, I don't know where they're gonna go after that because I mean they're running out of good guys to use. But I mean, I'm sure they'll find somebody. But either that or they'll just flip the script completely and have Cena and Rollins and then have Orton and Ambrose. But then again, I could be wrong. But I mean,
Could be.
like you said, it's gonna be amazing to see how they take this feud between
Definitely.
Rollins and Orton. It's going to be amazing watching it. I hope at least.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. There's so much potential and talent there. Definitely, definitely something looking forward to. Some rope breakers weighing in here. J-Dub saying Ziggler putting on a good match. If Orton will solidify Ziggler versus Cesaro. Definitely agree. Looking forward to that. Hope it happens at Hell in a Cell because uh, Ziggler's great in the ring. Sells like no other. And Cesaro, when he says he's the best, he backs it up. And Kyle Cohan asking a question saying, who does Seth Rollins remind you of more, Jeff Hardy or Shawn Michaels? Uh, I'm going to say Shawn Michaels. I truly believe that he has that, especially that young Shawn Michaels, that cocky arrogance about him. And as his career goes on, he's really going to show why he's one of the best. So for me, Seth Rollins reminds me a lot of Shawn Michaels, and uh, I think a lot of people can agree with that.
No, I do completely agree with you on that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shawn Michaels, definitely. I mean, I see a little bit of Jeff Hardy maybe whenever it comes to like maybe Seth's hair, but I mean, other than that, it's Shawn Michaels all over because if you look at it, we have Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose going into Hell in a Cell. It's their final feud, and we basically have the heel Rollins as, I want to say, maybe like a heel Shawn Michaels, and we have heel Ambrose as Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it's I don't know why I'm comparing the two, but it's matching up perfectly to me like that.
I don't disagree. You know, a lot of people, uh, try to compare Dean Ambrose to Stone Cold with that. You know, he has that anti-authority attitude. He has that, I'm going to do whatever I want because I can do whatever I want. There's nothing you can do to stop me. And that's the same way Stone Cold was. So, definitely can see where that comparison comes from. And I can't say I disagree with it. So, definitely Seth Rollins, is a lot like Shawn Michaels. Could be the next Shawn Michaels or the first Seth Rollins.
There
Think
you
about
go.
that one.
There you go.
And the next match I just quickly want to point one thing out was Rollins versus Jack Swagger. When Swagger hit Rollins with that suplex from the corner turnbuckle, Rollins sold the hell out of it. It reminded me of when The Rock used to take a stunner. That's how well Seth Rollins sold that suplex. That was just the one thing I wanted to comment on about that match. And then you had Randy Orton at the end with the RKO, and the quick little comment from Rollins saying, this is my time now. You had your time. Again, building that rivalry. Love it. After that,
Well,
you had, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, I've got one thing to say about the Jack Swagger and Rollins match. Swagger being the jobbing piece of American trash, as far as Rusev would say. And I mean, me and Jack Swagger share the same fucking birthday, so I can't talk too much shit to him about that. But I mean, he carried the living hell out of that match, dude. I enjoyed watching that. I mean, I saw him perform like I haven't seen him perform in like the past maybe 6 months. He did a damn good job carrying that match with Rollins. Damn good job.
I don't disagree with you there. He definitely was more impressive than he has been in recent months, especially since the split of the Real Americans. So I will give Jack Swagger props for putting on a pretty good match. We're gonna move on from there. Dean Ambrose cut that promo with Renee Young. Can't say anything bad about that. Then you had the Rusev Big Show segment, Lana coming out and cutting the promo. Rusev cutting the promo. I'm still on the fence about Rusev speaking in English. The first time he did it, I was like, wow, that was great. That was a real heel moment. For someone who's so anti-American to speak English and really call out Big Show. It was huge when it happened. The audience just stopped and listened, and now it's become redundant, and he's not as much of a menacing villain anymore as he was when he first spoke English. That was my only thing. And then I pointed out on our Facebook page, I predict that, sometime next week or within the next 2 weeks before Hell in a Cell, WWE will announce that it will be Mark Henry and Big Show versus Rusev in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And Rusev will obviously win that. Big Show will finally be defeated. And then I hope that they finally move past all this bullshit and put the U.S. title in Rusev's sights, because it needs to happen. He needs to get that title to really add to that anti-American heat. So that is my prediction. You heard it here first on React After Raw and at Rope Break. Don't forget it, people. But
I have one thing to say about the Rusev match, and that is a lot of people on WWE memes were like, "Where the fuck is The Rock?" Because he came out he came out last week and he cut the only the way that The Rock can do it. He cut that solid promo, and poof, he's gone. He's gone. And I mean, I was starting to get get an idea that maybe a lot of the fans were maybe a little pissed that The Rock didn't come back out. But I mean, he's the people's champ. He's The Rock. He is the eyebrow. He does whatever the fuck he wants. Cause he can so much as type a dot on Twitter and 1,000,001 people will share it. You know. But I mean, a lot of
No,
people
I
were
didn't. I didn't.
expecting The Rock.
I don't. I don't think they should have. It was a one-time thing, one-time thing to give Rusev a rub to really add to his stock as a big heel within the company. So, if you were expecting The Rock to come back, sorry for your disappointment, but he's a busy man.
Pretty
He's got a busy schedule. He doesn't have time to come back and lay the smackdown on some Russian jabronis every single week.
pretty much. Pretty damn much.
Kyle Colan weighing in over here on YouTube again, saying Rusev comes off as awkward. He says interesting, violent things. Uh, I don't necessarily agree. He doesn't come off as awkward, but in a way he does. But when he first talked, it was more menacing, and I do understand now where it's kind of awkward because, like I said, it's just not as menacing anymore. J-Dub saying Rusev will be speaking more English as they push him more like they did Cesaro. Definitely don't disagree there. Definitely could happen. Probably will happen. Kyle saying again, Rope Break Wrestling, breaking bones and breaking news. You're goddamn right. You are goddamn
Somebody
right.
give that man a fucking Slammy award.
It's like you got a Slammy award coming your way, Kyle. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be some tinfoil, and we're gonna make it look like a Slammy, and we'll
Use
write
some
your
of
name in. We'll write your name in Sharpie.
use some
We'll
of
just say
gold.
Kyle Callahan. We'll spray paint it gold.
Yeah, use some of Stardust's paint to make it gold.
It'll be the I don't know what they call it. It'll be the cheapies, cheap Slammy awards. After moving on from that, we have Miz versus Sheamus. Not a feud I care for at all. Don't really have anything to say. The one thing I will point out is King said one of the funniest things of the whole night. He said, I heard Miz's movies are going to be shown in 6 states in lieu of capital punishment. Once he said that, I was dying. I was like, yeah, I was clapping like, congrats, King. You finally made me laugh. King not the greatest person on commentary anymore. Not sure if that's because he chooses to be that way or Vince holds him back. Not really sure what the story is there, but when King does have a moment to shine, he does say some pretty funny things. After the Miz vs. Sheamus match, you had that Total Divas match with Nene Leakes involved just as a cheerleader. And I think WWE did the right thing in just having her there as a cheerleader. She didn't do an in-ring segment. She didn't really get involved at all. She wasn't a special guest referee. She was just there as a cheerleader for the babyface divas, and they did the right thing that way. There was no negative reaction from the crowd. So I'm glad they did that. Didn't really care for the match. As J-Dub pointed out earlier, that Total Divas needs to be separate from Raw, SmackDown, all their shows, because it just doesn't really have a place, and it takes up time. It's really, the matches are always really awkward. The matches are just hard to watch because I don't know if it's because of the way the show is scripted, and then they try to have it come off in the ring even though they shot that episode 6 months ago. I don't know. It just comes off as super awkward. So I do hope that eventually somewhere down the line they do separate the two entities from each other, because it just doesn't need to happen anymore. Come on, Vince. Come on, guys. Just keep the show separate and just give us some real divas wrestling already. Come on.
I mean, Total Divas is like the Cleveland show. The ratings are just shitty for it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Seth MacFarlane. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's like the Cleveland show. It had its moment, and now it's I give it the Batista thumbs down. It's over. Get it over with. I want to take you back just 1 second. I wanted whenever I heard Sheamus's theme song hit, I wanted him to bro kick the shit out of Nene Leakes. That would have been so goddamn funny.
Oh my god.
I wanted to see that so bad. I had so fucking bad I wanted to see that, but of course, they gotta keep it fucking PG. Oh well.
Well, I don't think it would be beneficial to the company to have a male superstar kick a woman in the face.
Well,
It
I
would
mean, it
it
would
would
have been
not
more
look good at all.
interesting than anything else that they fucking have going on for the Total Divas and that shit.
I mean, if that were to happen, I'm pretty sure WWE would no longer be in business.
Yes, but I know, but it would have been hilarious. It would have been fucking hilarious.
Randy Hill saying he wishes that Nene Leakes got kicked in the face by Sheamus. I think that's the nicest thing anybody here at Rope Break has ever said about Sheamus, Shipmus, whatever you want to call him. We don't like to speak of him here at Rope Break. Nobody really likes him. He doesn't interest us. He's stale. He's boring. I'm from Ireland. I like to kick and try to jump over the fucking rope and flop around like a great white whale. I'm done. I'm gonna stop ranting there before I go off on a huge tangent. Throw up some controversy like I always do. A lot of rope breakers always call me out. That's fine. I like it. You can always tweet us at Rope Break Wrestling. If you don't like something I say, hey, you could tweet and say, hey, you're a jerk. You're a jackass. I don't like you. You should quit. You can head over to our Facebook page. Do the same thing. You can send us a message. You can comment. Post on our wall. Tell me to go home. You suck me. I don't care. Do whatever you want. That goes for any of us. You could call me, Aussie, Matt, Randy, whoever. Hey, you want to call? We'll take you down. We'll chew you up. We'll spit you out. Because that's what we do here at Rope Break.
You haven't seen
I
any
think I'm done
ire,
ranting again. I
any
just keep
ire
going
here
on.
from Nick the Cena fans, so yeah, bring it on. Anyways, go ahead.
Kyle Cohan weighing in here. They announced on Backstage Pass a handicap match for Raw next week. Dean Ambrose and John Cena versus Seth Rollins, Kane, Randy Orton. It's also Street Fight rules. Ah. Oh,
Us.
fights anymore. I'm gonna hit this guy with a chair. This guy's gonna get hit with a kendo stick. You might go through the announce table, and that's it. They're not street fights anymore. Back in the day, you had a street fight. It was brutal. It was bloody. People were getting beat up and thrown around and getting kicked and having their heads shoved in trash cans, and then the trash cans getting jumped on. Hopefully it's good, but whenever there's Kane and Randy Orton involved in a match, it never ends good. There's always some things that leads to a lot of fans, especially in the IWC, being mad. There's always that meme of, oh, that's a great match you're having. It'd be a shame if someone were to interfere. But Street Fight rules can't allow that. So, Randy, you got anything to say about that? With that street fight? Can we call you guys out in a positive way? Well, Kyle, I mean, if you want to, you can call us on a positive way. You can say, hey, well, you're doing a great job. You're doing we like what you do. We like your articles and your YouTube shows and
No.
all your pictures and your giveaways. Giveaways, people. Giveaways. You want to hear about our
Yeah.
latest giveaway? I'll give it to you right now. Listen, we are giving away a copy of WWE 2K15 with a console of your choice, and we will replace the Cena cover if you wish, and that's for any console of your choice. But here's the catch. We got to get to 3,000 likes by Survivor Series, and thanks to some help from our friends at WWE Memes, including Randy. They helped us out today, shared us, definitely gave us a nice boost in the likes. We are about, I think, about 400 likes away from hitting that goal. So tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your mom, your sister, your cousin, your aunt, your uncles, your nieces, your nephews, tell everybody.
Tell your preacher.
Tell your preacher. Randy said, tell your preacher.
Yes. Tell your church, get them to fucking donate. Come on, not maybe,
On Sunday.
maybe not donate some money, but you know, tell them to go home and get on Facebook, even if they don't have an account. Tell them to go home, get on Facebook, make an account, and fucking like Rope Break Wrestling. Because if you don't, you're a bad friend. You are a bad friend, and you should feel bad.
Randy taking over Matt's job tonight and saying if you're not telling your friends about Rope Break, you are a terrible, terrible friend. We can't stress this enough. Each and every single week we say it, people. Every single week. Rope Break is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, people. You gotta live it. You gotta love it. So it's a lifestyle. All right,
You gotta live
we
the revolution.
Yeah, you have to live the Rope Break revolution. That's enough shameless self-plugging for now. We're going to finish out this review here of Raw. After that Total Divas match, you have that John Cena promo. Like we said earlier, it was kind of more comedic, more there to hype up the crowd. We're here in Atlanta, and blah, 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 and the hottest young superstar in the WWE, and just a typical promo from Cena, very predictable. Didn't really care for it. Just there to hype up the crowd, which is fine. Unfortunately, the crowd didn't really take well to that afterwards. After that Cena promo, you have the Bray Wyatt vignette. Very, very interesting to see, Bray Wyatt now kind of standing alone because Harper is set free, Rowan's set free, and Bray Wyatt is all alone now. And the promo saying, it's coming, and Bray Wyatt saying in an interview earlier that what I have planned next is going to peel back the skin from people's foreheads. So I am definitely excited for the return of Bray Wyatt to our TVs, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. Randy, I want to get your thoughts on Bray Wyatt's return in the new vignette that we saw tonight.
I can't set my clock, any further ahead of time. I'm waiting. I am waiting. I'm waiting for the clobber time from Bray Wyatt. I'm waiting to hear the creepy cut before his theme hits. I'm waiting for the I'm here and I'm ready. Bray Wyatt, come on, just bring yourself forth to us. Come on, just do it already. And the other guys, Harper and Rowan, I mean, it sucks seeing them go, but Bray Wyatt can honestly do it on his own. He's got the mic skills, he's got the in-ring talent, he's got that creepy vibe. Just bring it. The Rock says, just bring it.
Just bring it. It's clear here on React After Raw that, hey, Bray, we miss you. Come back. We need you. We need somebody to save us. Save us, Bray, because Y2J can't save us. He's singing with his band. He's a fudge, but he will be back in the first week in November, I believe, for the European tour. Just a little quick fill in the talent spots because there's not a lot of guys right now because of injuries. And so it'll be nice to see him come back just for that little bit. And that brings us to our main event of the evening. No, this is not UFC. This is React After Raw. And our main event was the Dean Ambrose versus John Cena in a no-holds-barred contract match for the match with Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. And I made a Facebook status on our Facebook page earlier saying, if Cena wins, we riot. Some people weren't happy about me saying that. In the end, Cena did not win, but I am not happy with the match at all. It was not, I don't even know how to put it into words. It was not a good match. It was very sloppy. It was very all over the place. It was, the guys just didn't really seem into it. They just got, they really looked like they just wanted to get the match over with. Like, okay, we know what's going to happen. We know Ambrose is going to get the contract, so let's just speed it up here. Just everyone involved looked very disinterested, especially, John Cena. Just didn't looked like he cared to be there, and then when Bobby there for a minute, guys were wailing and flailing all over the place, and I don't know. It was just not. The commentators are going on all night. Oh, we have a main event worthy match here tonight on Raw, and it didn't live up to the hype. They've been hyping this match and hyping John Cena versus Dean Ambrose to get their hands on Seth Rollins, and it did not live up to the hype. So hopefully, if there is a John Cena versus Dean Ambrose feud down the road, it'll be a lot better than what we saw tonight. So Randy, what did you think about that main event on Monday Night Raw?
Boring. I'm sorry. No, I feel like I'm with you on that. I feel like they just they were like, let's just make this, let's slap each other around a little bit. I'm gonna throw you on the stage platform, and I'm gonna make it look like I'm killing you because you're Super Cena. You're gonna get right back up in 5 seconds. Uh, the whenever that what ruined it for me honestly was whenever I heard Kane's music, because everybody, if you've been paying attention to React After Raw, you will hear it first from me that I do not like Corporate Kane. I don't like him at all. He is the most useless goddamn character in WWE right now. It's a bold statement coming from me, and I don't give a damn what anybody thinks.
Oh man.
Corporate Kane is a useless piece of crap.
I mean, I can't say I disagree, but oh man, let's hope Kane doesn't come through your walls and give you a choke slam or something.
Come on. See No Evil 2, bring it on. Bring it on. We can make it See No Evil 3. Come on. Anyways, like you said, it really was not a very interesting match. We actually got connected through to do the show, I think, right as it was ending, and station for my friend over here, and I mean, we were watching it, and even my friend, he just got back from being out of state for a couple of years, and he's gonna hang out with me tonight and everything, and he doesn't really pay that much attention, but he tries to, because of all the traveling and whatnot. But I mean, fuck is this? What the holy fuck is this? And Dean Ambrose finally grabs a contract. Thank God it was not Cena, because I think a lot of people would have been like, you know what, fuck your $9.99. I ain't paying that shit.
Right.
I'm unsubscribing from the network. Fuck you. I don't want to see Cena, take on Rollins. I don't want to see that shit. But no, I'm glad that they finally ended it, and it will be Ambrose versus Rollins at Hell in a Cell. I hope it's the main event, because they truly deserve it.
I definitely agree, and you make a good point about your friend watching the match. Saying, what is this bullshit? And I think it makes a big statement to WWE. Just imagine if that, was a first-time viewer and they didn't know anything about the product, and they have a friend who's saying, "Oh, it's really good. You should watch it. You'll like it." And then they watch this main event, and they're like, "So this is WWE. This is what all the hype is about. That's it. This is what I'm gonna watch every single week. This is what I'm gonna pay $9.99 for."
Exactly.
It goes to show that, earlier in the night there was great quality matches, and then at the end they just dropped the ball. So if there was someone tuning in for that last 20 minutes, they wouldn't be impressed with that product. So, I mean, they probably were constricted for time, so I understand that. But, on a pole matches just never work, and J-Dub agreeing, saying that match was bullshit, and also saying Ambrose could have taken the contract 3 times before the Authority jumped in. The bell could have rung. Ambrose could have ran up the fucking ropes and ripped it down. It was hanging on by a piece of goddamn fishing line, for Christ's sakes.
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
Jesus Christ,
pool
man.
matches, pool matches just never, ever work. Thank you, Vince Russo, for introducing that idea, and I'm glad they don't happen anymore. But that's it. That was the show. That was Raw. Not a lot of backstage segments, not a lot of promos, a lot of wrestling, which I liked. And now it is time for everybody's favorite part of the show. This is the part where we give our final thoughts and letter grade for Monday Night Raw. Everybody loves this part. It's the best part of the show because it means you get to hop off here, you get to lay down, you get to go to sleep. It might be late for some of you. It could be 5 o'clock in the morning if you're watching in the UK. It could be late. That's fine. Enough of me ranting. Randy, I want to get your final thoughts and your letter grade for this week's edition of Monday Night Raw.
Well, I mean, after sitting here listening to me rant and bullshit show, I mean, it really, the 3 hours that it by so fast that you kind of forget that the show is kind of shitty. I mean, the matches were fucking solid. They were solid as hell. The Ziggler and Rollins match stole the show. That was the match of the night. And wait, it wasn't Ziggler and Rollins. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. What the hell am I talking about? Anyways,
Ziggler and Rollins. It sounds promising, but that's not what
yeah,
happened.
really, yeah. I think I'm going back a couple of weeks here, but no, the match was Ziggler, and I think it was Orton, right? Yeah, it was Orton. That shows you honestly how much I paid attention to the show tonight. But I mean, that truly was. It was really lackluster. They could have done a little bit better with the promos and everything like that. There was a lot of wrestling, which a lot of people here lately are not even interested in anymore. Like I see a lot of people saying that they care about only about like the mic skills and how good are they, you know, whenever it comes to talking shit to one another. But no, wrestling is wrestling. It's not supposed to be meant for, you know, divas around on a TV show and all this bullshit with Adam Rose and the bullshit with, Russia crushing against the U.S. It's not supposed to fucking be about that. It's supposed to be about the wrestling. And, I
Oh,
mean,
Adam Rose tonight, which I was extremely happy about. I should point that out.
no shit, right? I did notice that. No Adam Rose tonight. There was
No Adam Rose, no Bunny, no Gator,
no, no,
nothing.
God. No Heath Slater, which was kind of disappointing. Not really, but it was a really good show, and for that, I'll give it a B minus.
B minus, definitely fair grade for the show here. Kyle Callahan weighing in here. I watched it with my little brother, and he was yelling about Dean Ambrose not going for the contract while taunting in the ring. Uh, they were trying to build suspense there, but it didn't really work. And then him commenting when you said Ziggler versus Rollins, he says it was Randy.
I'm sorry. I'm
uh,
sorry. I'm
uh,
sorry. I'm sorry.
always providing the comedic relief here in the comment section of React After Raw. Um, but I for the most part I was thoroughly entertained throughout the night. The opening tag match was good. Uh, Ziggler and Orton was good. Rollins and Swagger was good. Um, even Rusev and Big Show was a decent match. Even though I didn't really care for Miz and Sheamus, it was still, adding to the storyline. So they put the matches in the right places. The opening segment was good. I'm not really too thrilled with the main event, um, like the new wife. And yeah, so overall, the show was booked correctly. There was a lot of wrestling, not a lot of bullshit. From you had Todd Crucey there who just did the spot in the audience, which was fine. You had Nene Leakes there who was just a cheerleader, which was fine. So I think WWE learned their lesson from last week with guest host for now. And an interesting thing to point out before we hop off the air here, there was a rumor going around that Ric Flair was booked for tonight and Jake the Snake Roberts. I don't know if Ric Flair was on the pre-show. I don't watch the pre-show anymore. I don't really care for it. So if he was on the pre-show, then that's fine. Then there was rumor that Jake the Snake Roberts was at Raw, which he was. There's a picture of him and Natalya floating around the internet, but he did not make an appearance on the show. He might have been on Backstage Pass. Again, not a show that I'm watching it. It even hasn't been on the air in a long time, due to budget cuts. Whatever those budget cuts may be, let's pay Brock Lesnar more. But that's enough of me talking about that. Like I said, overall, matches were booked good. Show was booked good. I was entertained for the most part. And for that, I'm going to give this Monday Night Raw a B. A solid B. I think that's what I gave last week's Raw, too, a B. But, yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was, it was just right. It wasn't, anything entertaining. But, next week should be a good show.
The go home Raw is usually really solid unless they fuck it up.
Next week should be a pretty good show. Hulk Hogan is expected to be there. Not really sure why. Don't
Probably
really care
to
why.
sell the network again.
Yeah, most likely, but whatever. It's Hulk Hogan. He wants to come back. He can come back. He's the legend. Whatever. Hulk Hogan will be there. It's the go home show, which means it will be a go home edition of React After Raw, and we will have those 3,000 likes by then, and we can give you all the big details on how to win that copy of WWE 2K15. But that is React After Raw. Now it's time for this shameless plugging. Listen, guys. You can always find us here on React After Raw every single Monday night. Immediately following Monday Night Raw, we will be here with the panel, without the panel. I don't know. I never know who's going to be here. Randy's here tonight. Next week could be Matt. The week after that could be Aussie. Who knows? I'm hoping one day we can get everybody on the show. A full panel. Full debate.
It's going to be huge. Huge. The minute that we can get all four guys on the show, it's going to be huge. We're going to have hours to talk about it. Hours. Simply hours. And if you're not here, then you won't get to see it. And if your friends aren't here, they won't get to see it. So tell them. Spread the word out. Live the Rope Break Revolution. Do it now.
Definitely.
Do it.
Nice to get the whole panel here. Big debate. Some people might get fired. Some people might get rehired. We might even blow up Rope Break. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But, one day there will be a full panel for React After Raw. Guys, we have great shows. You know what happens after React After Raw? Thursday, noon, the Sharpshoot with Aussie. It is a great show. And in my opinion, it is the best damn show on YouTube. Aussie does one hell of a job putting that show together every single week, bringing you some great rumors. How do you like me now? His network picks and shooting on the big topics of the week. So if you're not checking that out, you should definitely be checking that out. If your friends aren't checking that out, then they're horrible friends. They're terrible friends. You should unfriend them, unsubscribe to them on Twitter, unfollow them on Instagram. Just get them out of your life if they're not following Rope Break. And then after the Sharpshoot, Fridays, noon, before the bell with Matt. Oh yes, the best damn podcast on YouTube. Matt's talking about all the latest things, as usual fashion, going on and on and on. The resident rambler, as we like to call him here on React After Raw, going off. If you missed last week's episode of Before the Bell, he went off on the creative team, and it was hilarious. So after this show, hop on our YouTube page, click the Sharpshoot, click Before the Bell, watch those shows and be entertained. And Matt has said on recent episodes that he is trying to get the show on iTunes and other podcast devices, so that way you guys don't have to hop on YouTube to listen to it. We do this for you guys, for the fans, by the fans. You guys can always catch us on our Facebook at facebook.com/ropebreakwrestling and on our Twitter at twitter.com/@ropebreak. That's it. I'm done plugging. So make
I've
sure you
got
tell your friends. If you don't tell your friends, you're a horrible friend. And get us 3,000 likes so we can get one lucky winner a copy of WWE 2K15 for the console of their choice. It's a big prize. We haven't done a giveaway in a while because we're saving up for it. It's going to be a big giveaway. So get us those likes, and you might win that. Everyone's eligible once we hit that.
and
So
I wanna go ahead and give out a spoiler. Probably within 3 to 6 months, and I do mean 3 to 6 months, Mid-Card Mondays will be hitting the web, and I will be talking, myself and I. Maybe I'll get Alec on the show, maybe I'll get Ozzy on the show, but in 3 to 6 months, Mid-Card Mondays is coming to you on Rope Break,
wow,
and it
you
and it
heard it
will
here.
and it will be the shit. I will be talking about the mid-card titles, such as the U.S. title, IC title. I will be talking about the current feuds going on for those titles. I will be talking about the Divas. I will be talking about who doesn't deserve to be in WWE and who deserves to be in WWE. It will be huge. It will be right underneath before the bell. It will be huge. 3 to 6 months time, people. Come on now.
You heard it here first on React After Raw. Randy Savage. In 3 to 6 months, Mid-Card Mondays will be released, and I expect it to be a very good show. Before we sign off, Kyle saying, was that a shot on the kid who had Twitter beef with Aussie? The fired comment. I will neither confirm or deny that claim. I'm going to stay hushed due to legal things here. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it wasn't a shot. But I'm glad you picked up on that. But anyway, that's the show, guys. We're done. We've been here for 1 hour, and that's it. You guys can hop off and go to bed. Go to sleep satisfied if you just watch React After Raw, or go to bed mad. I don't really care. You do what you got to do. I'm done here. But it was great. Thank you guys for watching. As always, special shout out to our friends at WWE Memes for helping us out today, getting us those likes, really pushing our 2K15 giveaway. That's it, guys. And if you're not down with Rope Break, we got 2 words for you. All right? If you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Rope Break.
Rope Break.
Good night, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening.